Okay, is this thing on? Is this thing on? All right. 5, 4, 3, 2. Let there be live. Welcome to Facebook Live with God. That's me, the one-man show. I'm here to answer all your questions about life, the universe, and everything. We're just going to sit around here just waiting for people to come on board. I know some people might be late for their appointment with God, but that's okay. I am a very forgiving sort. I'm just kidding. That's my child. I don't forgive very well. But I would be happy to answer any question from anyone from all over the universe. Generally speaking, it's probably just going to be people from Earth tonight because I spoke to the people from the other universes, the other parts of the universe, the other galaxies, all the inhabitants there, and they were busy washing their hair or something. So Earthlings, welcome, and I'm here to answer your questions. Is anyone there? Hello, hello.
Hi, God.
Oh, hark, I hear an angelic voice.
I have a question. Did you really need to create hurricanes and forest fires?
Oh, did I really need to? Well, everything I did, everything I created was, of course, my choice. But these things are the options that you can choose to bring into your life, or you can choose not to have it in your life. It's all about personal choice, personal responsibility. And if you have earthquakes and hurricanes and forest fires, you only have yourselves to blame.
Okay.
God, I have a question.
Oh, another angel.
Why did you decide that a burning bush would be a good way to leave a message?
Oh, that's a great question. Why would I use a burning bush to send a message down to mankind? Well, we didn't have Facebook Live back 4,000 years ago, so I had to improvise.
God, what happened with the duck-billed platypus?
Oh, the duck-billed platypus. That's a very common question. Everyone asks me that. The people die, they come up, they come to the gates, they talk to St. Peter, they come in the door. And I'd say like 80% of the people, first thing they do, they find me and they say, what about the duck-billed platypus? And here's the thing, is it's a messy business creating a universe. And when I'm creating the universe, I have all these parts and boxes all over the place in my laboratory. And one day I think it was day 4, is the creatures of the land crawling on the belly and something about in the water and the flight. And I got really mixed up. I had some parts left over in this box and parts left over in that box. It's like, I'll just put it together and see what happens. And lo and behold, we have a duck that gives milk. Or I'd say like a wombat that lays eggs. I don't know what it is. Knock yourselves out figuring it out.
Keith Karras wants to know, God, I have a question. Did Adam and Eve have belly buttons?
Yes. Okay, next. No, I'm just kidding. No, there was no amniotic sac for them to be formed within. Adam just like poof, he was formed out of dust. And so dust doesn't have a belly button or an amniotic sac. So Adam, smooth belly. He had rockin' abs as a result. There was no hole to break it up. And then Eve, she was just ripped out of his side, and I don't know, she just kind of grew out of this little piece of bone. It was kind of like stem cells, and no belly button needed. There's no sack of fluid inside the mother's womb or anything. It was just like, hey, here's a bone, woman. Next question.
Ivan Friedman wants to know, when is the Messiah really coming?
Oh, when is the Messiah really coming? Well, Ivan Friedman, that is. That's a Jewish name, isn't it? Yeah, I think you missed a chapter. Look back about 2,000 years, and you'll see your answer.
Keith Karras says, great answer, God.
Good on you. I'll remember you on Judgment Day.
Mike McMullen wants to know, can he have a flying pony?
Yes, Mike McMullen. I'm glad you asked about your flying pony. Absolutely, you may have all the flying ponies you want, as long as you worship me in just the right way.
Nate Bush wants to know, as long as you are omnipotent, what are tomorrow's winning lottery numbers?
Nate. Good old little Nate. You've come a long way since you were chasing around neighborhood cats with that squirt gun. I see all. But Nate, the winning lottery numbers, I'm sure you would be using such winnings to benefit mankind and just spread peace and harmony among all your fellow creatures. Oh, no. That was Norris Bush. He lives on the other side of the country from you. I get the two of you mixed up sometimes. Yeah, Nate, I'm sure you would spend it on hookers and blow. So I'm sorry, no winning lottery numbers for you. That would be sinful.
Craig Alimo wants to know, hi God, quick question. Why did Bill Belichick, head coach of the New England Patriots, not play Malcolm Butler in Super Bowl 52? Not the one that just happened, the one before.
Oh, all right, Craig, I'm glad you asked that, because it gives me a chance to point out something about sports and God. You see, I have this thing about sports, and all the sports questions I just send to, I outsource the sports questions to be answered by my associate down below. And yeah, the New England Patriots, they do a lot of business with the man down below. So you can just, you can send your question directly to him.
Eric Zander wants to know, dear God, why do some people get no hair on their head but too much hair on their backs? And vice versa.
Oh, Eric. Yes, sorry about that, buddy. I just, you know, when I'm tweaking the knobs on the testosterone, if I turn it up too high and poof, you know, I hit my halo. Ouch! That smarts. If I tweak your adrenaline too high, then it just kind of vaporizes the hair up, and then gravity pulls it back down. Two forces are testosterone and gravity. Did I say adrenaline? I'm sorry, nobody's perfect.
Except you, God.
Oh, except me. That's right. I'm perfect. I forgot. Yeah, it's a touch of the Alzheimer's. So the hair, it migrates downward because of gravity after the testosterone makes it go away. But hey, that just means you can have more boners.
Tom Hubert wants to know, to those who say, only God can judge me, is that true? Do you have that kind of time? Do you mind if I judge people for you? Some of them are really asking for it.
Tom, judging. You're welcome to judge anyone you like. However, someday you're going to meet me, the final judge. So be careful how you judge, because someone might judge you.
Nate Bush says to his question, absolutely. And now...
Hookers and blow.
Hookers and blow. And now he wants to know, why is God, spelled backwards, dog?
Well, you see, when I created this one universe with myself in it, I created a mirror universe, which is the exact opposite, where time flows backwards, and I actually take the appearance of a dog.
Like Scooby-Doo.
Like Scooby-Doo.
And Katie Vandenheuvel says, to canine is divine.
I like the way you think, Katie.
Alexander Hussey wants to know again, dear God, can you please answer the chicken and egg question once and for all?
Chicken the egg. That's right after the platypus. That's the second most asked question. All right. So get this. In the beginning, I created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. And you get to like day 3, 4, 5. I have to look at my notes. But I want this two-legged bird with wings that doesn't fly, that shoots food out of its one hole that has dual function. Like there's poo and eggs that come out. But it had to come from somewhere. The eggs have to come from somewhere. And when I created the animals, just like with Adam, just like with Eve, it's just like, poof, there you are. And now you have to start laying.
Alex Blatt asks, God, I have a question. What is your worst mistake? Creating faithless dogmatism or free will that has doubt in your existence?
Alex Platt, I think my biggest mistake was creating the surname Blatt. But if you really are worried about dogmatism and what was read that again?
Free will, but that has doubt in your existence.
Oh, free will that has doubt in my existence. Well, sometimes I get bored. I get bored and I need to mix things up. And so I have to give some of my little puppets, creations, I have to give some of my creations just something to struggle against. And I could just appear in front of you like I am right now at Facebook Live and say, hi, I'm here, I exist, believe in me, and everything will be fine. But until Facebook, there was no way to get the word out.
Nate Bush wants to know, why can enlightened thought be seen in all versions of religion?
I am one with the universe. And so every single creature of the land, sea, and air, of every planet that ever existed, with every creature that ever inhabited any of those planets, if they look inside, they will find the inner peace that is my message to all. Or maybe it's just gas.
Tom Hubert says, thanks, God, but I'm probably heading the other direction.
Oh, well, you can talk to the New England Patriots down there.
Kristen Hughes Evans wants to know, hi, are you a man? If so, what do you do with your penis?
Kristen, that's for private time.
Tom Hubert says, each December there's the whole Jesus Santa issue. I know Jesus is your kid, but I can't help noticing a resemblance between you and Santa. Anything we should know? Are you willing to do a 23andMe test?
Tom, so many questions you've asked me over the years. Jesus will be my kid. That hasn't happened yet. See, I have traveled all the way from the dawn of space and time to be here on Facebook Live tonight. And I might even bring this idea back in time so that I can better communicate with Moses. But I really think that the whole space and time thing that you're asking about. I'm sorry, what are you asking about? I reread the question, Tom, in a woman's voice, preferably.
Each December, there's the whole Jesus Santa issue.
Oh, right, the Jesus Santa thing. I'm sorry, I lost my place. It's brain. Jesus will be my kid. You might have already seen evidence of him, but in my mind, he hasn't happened yet. And Santa looks more like me, but I think it's kind of racist to say all white men with beards look alike. So, Tom, I'm sorry to say that when I created you, I created a little bit of white-on-white racism in you. But I do forgive you for having the confusion that all white men with beards look alike. Santa is one of my creations, and he's just kind of, I created him to look like Zeus, and I created Zeus to look like Odin, and I made them all look kind of alike, just, kind of like the reason I created atheists. I want to, sow doubt and make people curious and question and have to really struggle just to give you something to do. It's just like having if you have a cat, and you get a little platform with a spring and then a little feather on top. And so when you go out, the cat has something to do. And that's why I give you all these white men with beards to confuse you.
Kristen says to the penis question, ew.
Oh, Kristen does not like privacy. Good to know, because I see all.
Jay Bellamy says, if you created all of us in your image, how come there are so many ugly people in the world?
Well, Jay, it's an aggregate. If you take all the people in the world and you smush their looks together, it's the aggregate of the composite of the distillation of all their looks, which leads to this.
Larry Rundle says, that's for private time. Laughing my ass off.
Oh, well, Larry, that's all right. I'll make sure I send a new one down to you to put back on.
Kristen says, God, are you high? And also, Ben wants your take on whether Pluto is a planet.
Okay, that's 2 questions. First question, am I high? Yes, and mighty. And don't you forget it. And as far as Pluto, what does it matter what you call it? Is a planet by any other name just as rocky?
Tom Hubert says, so Jesus doesn't yet exist, but racism does?
Well, yes, I'm glad you figured that out, Tom. It shows your thinking, and I'm glad you are moving forward with your knowledge and your inquisitiveness and figuring things out.
Alex Blatt says, my son, who's 9 years old, wants to know why you made penguins black and white and that they live on ice and snow. Won't that make everything look at them like make them think that they're colorblind?
Well, that's why I send them red bow ties.
Brad Weston says, just tuned in. How is your relationship with Krampus?
Oh, Krampus. Yeah, he kind of hangs out during the whole Festivus time of the year. Krampus, he likes to go around and do the things and, smack little kids who are naughty. And it's like, well, I wouldn't prefer you do that. But, whatever floats your boat, I'll just judge you later.
Speaking of judging, Nate Bush wants to know what you think of Rich Potter.
Oh, Rich Potter. That's funny you ask. Rich Potter, he is this mortal who has this strange, arrogant notion that he created me. But again, someday he'll be eye to eye with me and we're going to figure this out once and for all.
And follow-up question, what do you think of Isolde?
Oh, what do I think of Isolde? Oh, she's a lovely lady, and she really, really knows a lot of things. She's explored a lot of ideas. The only thing that I really wonder about, it just makes me scratch my head, that she supports that Rich Potter guy in his strange, arrogant notion that he created me. I don't know why she's enabling him, but I'm just going to have a kid someday to forgive her.
Jim Brewster wants to know, foreskin, good or bad?
I need a follow-up question from you, Jim. More specifically, foreskin, good or bad, attached or unattached?
Jim, if you're live and you're watching God answer these questions, give us the follow-up question, please. And that way God can answer yours. Tom Hubert says, I love your gown. Who are you wearing? Diane von Furstenberg? Yves Saint Laurent?
It's a Hummel, which is a brand that you have not heard of yet, but it's out of this world.
Mickey Berry asks, which ice cream is best, chocolate or vanilla?
Oh, well, I don't want to play favorites. Well, except for the Jews. I mean, they are my chosen people. But apart from that, all flavors are the same.
Benjamin Evans says, ha, I figured. Thanks for setting the Pluto question to rights.
Good on you, Ben.
Craig Alimo says, hey, God, what do you think of all these people who evoke your name and claim to follow you when they also support Donald Trump, who assaults women, call non-white countries shitholes, doesn't denounce white supremacist groups, calls Mexican rapists and criminals?
Oh, well, Craig, I really I go to great lengths to keep people happy, and to do that, I can't take sides in political issues. So suffice it to say, I'm happy with all my creatures until they disappoint me, and when they disappoint me, things happen.
Craig Lima has a follow-up question. Also, what's the difference between you and the Force?
Oh, easy. I am God. I'm the creator of the heavens, the earth, the space, time, matter, and energy. The Force is a fictional thing from a movie.
Jim Brewster says his follow-up question is foreskin? Attached, of course.
Oh, I'm fine with that. Well,
Benjamin Evans says, replying to Nate Bush, God is a smart man. And Nate Bush says, ew.
I'm sorry, Nathan, for everything I create that's majestic and beautiful. There's something equally horrible, disgusting, or putrescent. It's the nature of the universe. It's the cosmic balance.
Another follow-up question. Why are there no truly blue fruits or vegetables? Blueberries don't count because they're not really blue.
Oh, well, actually, that's funny you ask, because every fruit and every vegetable are all blue. And it's your eyes that don't see that. It's kind of like you believe you can see the entire Roy G. Biv of the rainbow, but actually you only see Roy G. Iv. You don't see the blue that is on the other side of the ultraviolet. I just made it rain here in Maryland.
Jay Bellamy asked the question, but I think it's already been answered. Nate Bush said, no, you to the detached foreskin fried like a pork rind. And Craig Alimo says, is it okay if I don't believe in you? Asking for a friend.
Oh, Craig. You're welcome to believe in me or not believe in me, but here I am. I mean, if you don't believe someone you can see with your own eyes, I think you should get your eyes checked.
Kristen asks again, any nuggets of wisdom for us mere mortals?
Oh, yeah. Be nice. Share your toys. Make me a sandwich.
Another follow-up question. Just exactly what is wrong with mixing linen and wool?
Oh. Well, you see, linen is made of flax seeds, and wool is made of sheep. And if you sew a flax seed onto a sheep, the sheep says, meh, and it just disturbs me sleeping.
Joseph Arthur Rudzinski wants to know, of the 5 Blade Runner films, is there a director's cut truly the best? And isn't it necessary to see the theatrical release beforehand and then see the director's cut? And is the European version a healthy skip or a must-see?
Oh, Joseph, I really like that name, Joseph. I think someday I'm going to have a child with the wife of a man named Joseph. So, about the Blade Runner films. It's just a movie, buddy. It's what you like is what you like. I didn't make them. I don't decide what's good or what's bad. I mean, leave it up to Ridley Scott, and he just does his thing, and then you can look at it and say, this one I like best, that one I like best. But really, I think you read a bad translation of the Nerd Bible. See, there is a misprint in the Nerd Bible. It is not the geeks shall inherit the earth. It's the meek. And so if you get too geeky, you're not going to inherit the earth. You're going to have a little trouble with getting obsessed with things like the 5 different versions of the Blade Runner movie.
And Craig Alimo says it's true. The internet doesn't lie.
Right. The internet does not lie, and here I am, God, live in person on the internet.
Kristen again, do you have any enemies? Should we hate anyone on your behalf?
Hate is a very strong word, and I don't think it's really nice to hate. But, green peppers are kind of icky. So anyone that makes you eat a green pepper against your will, I think you're within your rights to maybe not hate them, but dislike them. Maybe dislike them a lot. Maybe you want to give them wedgie.
Alex Blatt wants to know, since the USDA standards were instituted, is there really still a problem mixing meat and dairy in the same pan?
Nah, Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, it's personal preference. I kind of like a good cheeseburger, but a vegan one.
Jim Brewster wants to know, if you could change one physical law of the universe, which would it be? Follow-up, why don't you?
I wouldn't change a thing. I made everything perfect. I mean, why are you questioning me? I'm on to you.
Jay Bellamy asks, who makes a better God? Rich Potter or George Burns?
George Burns. He's kind of he's dead now. Rich Potter is still alive, so but again, Rich Potter didn't create me. I'm me, he's him. He's just a mere mortal. I am everything.
Ivan Friedman wants to know, is God Jewish?
Oy vey. Next question.
We have 2 last questions, unless more of our live studio audience decides to participate and ask more. Jim Brewster wants to know, John, Paul, George, or Ringo?
Oh, well, I have John and George up here now, and I think some point I'll get to know Paul and Ringo a little better when they come up here, but they're fine where they are for now. But John, he kind of bugs me. He keeps saying he's more popular than my kid, and my kid hasn't been born yet. And George has some nice jams.
Do we have any last questions? Jim Brewster has an interesting follow-up. He says, why question God? Because you're soliciting the questions.
That's a good question.
Ivan Friedman wants to know, does God have a day job?
My day job ended 6,000 years ago.
Alex Blatt wants to know, God, where are my keys?
Did you look behind the thing?
Jesse Lewis Hypnosis wants to know, how did Keith Richards become immortal?
Embalming.
Tom Hubert says, Kirk or Picard? Pepsi or Coke?
Kirk Coke. Just because I like alliteration.
Ben Evans
Wait,
wants...
Picard, Pepsi. Hold on, I'm confused. Pepsi, Coke, Kirk, Picard. Say that 10 times fast and I'll get back to you.
Benjamin Evan wants to know, got any good lawyer jokes?
What do you call 1,000 lawyers at the bottom of the ocean? A good start! That's the clean one.
And do we have any last-minute questions for God? Any last-minute questions? Any? God is here.
Oh, wait. I'm channeling. I hear somebody from the ether asking a question. When and where am I appearing next on Earth? That's a good question, you faceless, nameless person out there that I feel your vibrations of. At the Unitarian Universalist Church of Silver Spring in Hillandale, Maryland, on March 23rd at 7 p.m., and you can find the link to the event in the description.
We have last-minute questions.
Oh.
Brad Weston asks, will I be forgiven for being a juggler?
No. Carrie
Leonard, who incidentally is a lawyer, asks, are all lawyers going to hell?
You know, I joke about lawyers at the bottom of the ocean, but no, I take every single person on a case-by-case basis, except for the New England Patriots.
Tom Hubert says, what question do you hate the most?
What question do I hate the most? That one.
And Jesse Lewis Hypnosis asks, what is this rash?
What is this rash? That's between you and your doctor, and I'm not one to ration tell.
Ivan Friedman asks, God, did you find a good car yet?
Yes, a Prius. But I just borrowed it.
Benjamin Evans says, love you, God, with a whole bunch of love and hearts.
Oh, I love you too, Ben. Now don't mess it up.
Federico Boris Giuliani asks, why so much violence on Earth?
Listen, Federico, I create you, I set you in motion, and I leave you to do your own stuff. I'm sorry, I programmed you for violence, but that was just kind of an oversight when I was doing everything perfectly.
Craig Alimo asks, what did you think of the end of the TV series Lost? Do you think it was cool or just lazy writing because they couldn't figure that shit out?
Oh, yeah. No, I preferred the end of the Bob Newhart series.
Tom Hubert says, what question do you wish somebody would ask, but they never have?
See, here's the thing about being God, is I never have to wish for anything, because if I want something, boom, there it is. And all the questions I've heard so far are exactly what I would have wanted.
Jesse Lewis Hypnosis says, what's under the robe?
Jesse, I made you in my image. You work it out.
Alex Flett says, what's all this hubbub about violins on TV?
Well, I do like the stringed family of instruments, and it kind of complements the angelic singing.
Ivan Friedman asks, can I get a discount of my God ticket?
Yes. Here's what you do, Ivan. What you do is you take the ticket price and you double it, and then I'll give you 50% off that.
Jay Bellamy says, how does a mime profess their love for you?
How does a mime?
Mime. How does a mime profess their love for you?
Sorry about that. I just, I think about mimes and the electricity just shoots out of me. Well, a mime will profess their love with gentle gestures, sweet caresses, and that's for private time.
And Kristen Hughes Evans says, here, this is Kristen again here on Ben's account. I am the one who loves you, but no private moments, please.
All right, Kristen. I will not have any private moments with you, but I will watch all of your private moments.
Alex Blatt says, if I eat pasta and then antipasta, will I still be hungry?
Yes, but you will destroy a universe inside your gut.
Brian Foley says, ooh, Brian Foley, hello. Brian Foley says, your question reader sounds hot. Can I get her number?
Yes, it's 301 4... Oh, she's giving me this the stink eye. No, sorry, Brian. She's all mine. She belongs to Rich Potter. But then Rich Potter and she both belong to me, because I am God. It's all mine, 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 mine.
Federico Boris Giuliani says, why do women yell your name instead of mine when I am the one responsible for the, quote, situation, and you get the credit?
Sorry, them's the breaks, buddy. You create a universe and you can get credit too.
Ivan Friedman asks, God, do you fart?
You ever hear thunder?
Do we have any last-minute questions? Any last-minute questions for God? And Brad Weston just said, stingy. Oh.
What, just because I wouldn't give Nate the lottery ticket numbers?
It's possible. It's possible. So, any
wait,
last-minute... Oh, God. What are you binge-watching right now?
What am I binge-watching? Well, I kind of like depravity, so I've been watching Shameless on Netflix with William H. Macy, who's recently been in the news, but I really don't care who goes to which college. I mean, you'll end up in the dirt anyway.
Any last-minute questions? Any last-minute questions for God? Please know that God will be back on Earth on March 23rd at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Silver Spring. So if you're local to the D.C. area, you can come see God in person. And Ivan Friedman asks, may I have a picture with God after the show?
Well, all you have to do is screen grab this, take a photo of yourself, and Photoshop them together. Yes, you may have a photo with God after the show. I will be in the lobby just for you.
Kristen Evans says, hang tight, God, it's been real. Tom Hubert asks, did OJ do it?
What do you think?
And one last question from Peggy Brennan. Dear God, how's it all going to end? Love, Peggy.
Peggy, you ever watch Doctor Who? No spoilers.
Thank you so much, God, for joining us on Facebook Live this evening. God will be back March 23rd at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Silver Spring, Maryland. You can find tickets at GodTheOneManShow.com. You can also see God again in Facebook Lives if you didn't get your question answered tonight, or if you want to submit a question for the next God Ask Me Anything. We'll be back, and we'll let you know when that's going to happen.
And one more thing, if you're in Winnipeg, I will be in Winnipeg in July for the Winnipeg Fringe Festival. So Canadians, I'm coming your way.
Until next time, this is God and his little angel signing off.